Good evening. It is the 21st of March, 2024. I almost said 2022, y'all. Man, it's what it is. NCAA tournament started today. Yeah, so if any gamblers out there that's tired and sick, maybe you'll be watching this later. But we looking at a game. I got on the table right there. This is one of my games. Brent Campbell, absolutely. It's one of my games. And it is Return Address Cat Low, a Vietnam letter writing game, right? I don't know. I just was getting late, and everybody here's in the bed, so I just kind of wanted to talk. And might as well, as I'm wont to do. Anybody that knows me knows I get in a talking mood every now and again. So I turned the camera on, and we're gonna talk a little bit about game design and games in general. This is a if you want to, I will read this back blurb. This is a book of interactive fiction. You are a lieutenant, junior grade, and an officer in charge of PFC 62, based at a Cat Low Naval Base in Vietnam. Your lifeline to the real world are letters and packages you receive from home, as well as, and more importantly, for purposes of this game, letters you send back home to your loved ones. Can your letters get you home? Will it be via promotion, or will it be a letter of condolence to your loved ones stateside? Find out inside. The whole point of this game, I still am. This is why I'm making a video about this. I was obsessed about the idea of writing a game or a writing game, right? And really, truly, because I play, and it's because of this. Adam Mitchell. If you're looking at this, Adam, it's your fault. This video is your fault. This isn't the game that really took me off on a weird path of writing games, but this is a good one. This is his latest one, and it's Iron Coffin, a Cold War naval journaling game and creative writing aid. It's the journaling game I got totally sucked into. I've got a couple of these, by the way. Was Fleming, which I could have showed it somewhere around here. Fleming, which was a World War II espionage game where basically you're playing I guess you're playing Ian Fleming, and but anyways, and it was such. The rules, some of the rules seem kind of ambiguous, right? But if you play in the spirit of the game, of the journaling game, wow. I never was sucked into a role more than that of Fleming. And so it really brought me into the role, really more so than even a tabletop RPG ever has. Playing that role of Fleming was still today maybe my most the experience that most sucked me into a game. And it was a little short. It was short and easy, and it was nothing too difficult. And I remember, I think Adam told me, Adam's a friend of mine, and I think he told me he got the idea from one of his martial arts instructors. And they said in Japan, back in the day, they used to have journaling games. And so that's where he got the idea, and he started it with one called the Infernal Clock, which is a good game, and then Fleming, which is an excellent game, and then Iron Coffin, which is just as good, and if not better than Fleming. It's a good game too. As my well-worn copy, you can see it's dog-eared. I got more than one copy of this, as well as this. So that got me into thinking. That whole idea of journaling, and it really sucking me in. It got me thinking, could I simulate something in writing that? And I thought, well, I would simulate someone in the quartermaster's office, filling orders, and that seemed that just didn't seem, I don't know. And I did it a couple times, tried to tried maybe a journaling game of a officer in a field unit, field artillery unit, and just so I finally settled on a letter writing game. And there's other letter writing games, but the reason I settled on a letter writing game was twofold. One, letter writing is an experience I think where old school letter writing is experienced that is going away, and I mean going away fast. The world shrank in a lot of different ways, not in miles, but definitely in letter writing and emails and texts, and we're connected almost all the time. Wow, even just a few years ago, a sat phone, using a sat phone in the field was a privilege, right? And even that's becoming less and less so. I mean, we're just connected, so much so. And I remember I knew a boy in my family, not my kids, but he was in my family, and he got up older, and I gave him a note, and I had written it out, and he didn't know what it said because it was in writing as what they call now cursive, I guess. It was just written out. I thought, wow, that's crazy. And then I ran across a couple of kids that really couldn't read an analog clock. And I thought, were we losing some of this stuff? And so I wanted to make a letter writing game because I think that's going to be a thing of the past, and if not already, old school letter writing is just not around. So, and I didn't want to leave too many ambiguities, not because I actually think if you make it more ambiguous, like one of these, then I think it's easy to get more into the role. But I wanted to not leave, but some people, gamers in general, and people's game for a while, can figure out a few ambiguities, and I can't remember what I mean by ambiguities, but I felt like there was a couple that was supposed to be there. The game's not broken in any way. The game's great. They were supposed to be there, but I was trying to not have any ambiguities because I don't know. So someone could write it out, and so I made a letter writing game. And letter writing to servicemen in the field has been a lifeline for them for as long as there's been mail service, right? Carriers, right? That goes way, way back to people writing notes to loved ones and people writing, and another big part of that was I'd read years ago, my great uncle had sent, he was 16 in World War II. My great grandmother signed for him to go. And, but anyways, he sent letters home to his sister, my grandmother. And I have those letters, and I would read those, and you could almost feel a certain amount of closeness that just writing that down, and how those meant, even for my grandmother receiving those and sending some back to him. Those ones she's even receiving, you can see where she's out in the mountains and not going to a post office, but just maybe once a month, maybe. Over at Allays and picking up the mail and seeing, So there's a certain amount of closeness in that writing during that war that I think is, we miss out on. And, of course, me knowing so many people that had been in Vietnam, whether I was working with them or whether they was my father knows, my dad knows generation around talking. Yeah, it was a big thing in Vietnam, too. If you remember, one of the most heart-wrenching moments in the movie Apocalypse Now is when Lawrence Fishburne's character is in the boat and he's listening to that message from his mom on the tape. Pretty much right before he gets killed, and yeah, so I wanted to make a game out of that, and I made a full game out of it, and it's playable, and I've played it, and I enjoy it very much. Sequence of play. Let's see. Determine what style you will use to write your letter, typed lettering or handwritten. Sometimes sometimes you're not going to be able to type it. Most time you're going to be in the field, so you're going to have to letter or handwrite it. Right? Um, they give benefits. Different ones give different benefits. Roll to see number 2. Roll to see which letter number you were writing. Skip this step on the first turn. Okay, that's an end game type of thing. Roll a d6 on the letter table to see who you'll be writing to. You could either be writing Navy High Command, your family, or another sailor's family. Once you have determined who you will be writing to, you need to go on the specific table to find out what you will be writing about. You'll either roll on the Navy High Command table, the sailor's family table, or your family table. You know. Now you write your letter using the game. All game rules and DRMs. Score your letter and keep a running tally of your score. Yeah, so and I just wanted to do that because the simulating letter writing during war, I think, is probably something I don't know how to emphasize that, how much that means to people. Y'all that serve knows how much that means, a package from home or whatnot. That means a lot. I was going to show you. Well, it's not close. For instance, I have some candy bars that I really can't get here. That's I get sent to me from Ecuador now and again. You can find them sometimes here in Latin groceries in big cities up north usually. And it's a Manichu bar, right? Sometimes find them in Florida. But a Manichu bar, it's a chocolate and peanuts, right? Mani. And so one of my favorite candies of all time, well, it's hard to find here. So when someone sends it to me from Ecuador, you better believe I'm happy. Likewise. Or the strawberry Oreos in Ecuador. Look, there's ubiquitous in Ecuador. Strawberry Oreos, and they're vanilla Oreos. Before we even had vanilla Oreos here, the white cookie, or the cream colored cookie, whatever you want to call it. We had those in Ecuador with strawberry filling and strawberry Oreos, right? Fresa. And so something else I miss, And here, and when I'm there and living there, or anywhere else for that matter, living outside the States, there's stuff from here I miss as well you can't get. So when you get it, somebody sends it to you. And back in the day when I still smoked, it was those non-filtered Pall Malls that I missed more than anything. Because you just couldn't find them outside the States, man. And that's crazy sound. I haven't smoked in so long, and can't believe it was that big of a part of me. I was smoking like 4 packs a day, so yeah, it was a big part of me. So y'all know what I'm talking about if you've been in that same situation, and it's one of those things that I don't want history to. Some other books hold out. I didn't want to lose to history, so I've done this book. The reason doing these books, I would hope that somebody with more talent than me. I'm not an extra talented person. I work hard, but I'm not extra talented at much of anything. Unfortunately, I have some decent ideas, but the execution in there can be a little hard for me. And this game here kind of broke my brain in a certain way because game design just doesn't come natural for me. That's why I didn't make a game for so long in my life. And then when I found that D66 system of Adam Mitchell's game book system, that's when I thought, hey, maybe I can try this. And that's when I came out with Holdout, which still one of the most interesting, in my opinion, and it's mine, so still one of the most interesting things of a game book ever, playing a Japanese holdout in the South Pacific. That's cool. Don't know the war's over. But Return Address Cat Low is just, you could be writing something good, something bad, whatever else. And I'd wish somebody could pick it up, somebody more talented could pick it up and make a better game, a better letter writing game for during wartime than I did. But yeah, that's it. That's all I really want to talk about. And if you don't have one, pick it up. You can find it's way under $10. Pick it up and see what you think, and see if you'd be inclined to make something out of it. Boy, I think it's a pretty good idea. Now, again, writing games, whether it's a journaling game like that or a letter writing game that I've made, does seem daunting in the in the time, right? And so you're going to want to. But once you get up and start playing it, I promise you, even me, I think, gosh, I don't feel like writing. That feels more like work or school. But once you get into it, it's hard to put down. But that's all. That's everything. Shilling a little bit for me, but not really shilling. I don't shill for myself so much. I just wanted to, put it out there, talk about it, talk about the idea of making a game that the game is to write. And again, Adam Mitchell, he's at fault for that. Thank you, Adam. Or if I would thank Adam. I think that's a pretty cool game. This is a pretty good idea, a pretty cool game. So I thank him very much. But yeah, all right, done talking. Promise you, haven't took any sleeping medication or anything. I just want to talk about what I want to talk about. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day. Friday's coming up. Friday's tomorrow, so maybe I'll be gaming some over the weekend. Yeah. So let me know what you're going to game with, what you're doing, and I should have another video pretty soon. No Enemies Here come out tomorrow, so I always watch that Wargaming news. So it is what it is. Talk to y'all soon. Bye bye.